we were a bit lost in the wilderness. I'd gotten a little ahead of myself thinking I was the special one. The boys were fighting for us, but it just wasn't working. We hadn't scored more than one goal since early November, until we left it all on the field against AZ in a disheartening 3-4 loss. We made some tough calls, sold some of the players so we wouldn't lose their full values. It's helped the wage budget, and we redeployed part of that back into the transfer budget. We took a bit of a risk, but then he came in and did this in his first start. At this point, my friends, we've got a 1-0 lead against 10th place Vitesse. We are holding on for dear life away from home, playing a 4-3-3, incredibly slow tempo, like waste all the time kind of tactic. We've lulled them to sleep to score our first goal. We've made a substitute. Here's our right center back with the throw-in. It's going to get flicked on here. I love a good flick on. Kadic and Novakovic smacks it home. Now you might say, that's not really that amazing, but like it was good positioning, and he did score a goal in his debut. Get in! So alright my friends, we've signed Andrea Novakovic, who has prior in the Eredivisie, and listen to my explanation as to why I thought it was worth the risk. Now he's had 9 appearances. How many of those? All substitute appearances, so that's not really fair to compare. He's had 9 substitute appearances in Serie B on a 6.51, which, my friends, is not very good. But he went to Reading on a free. He played for the Chicago Magic, which is like low league, United States soccer disaster. And he scored 22 for them, but that doesn't really count because of the level, right? So he goes to Reading on a free because ridiculous rules in the United States. So he leaves on a free, and that club misses out on all of that value. I'm not bitter. And then proceeds to do not a whole lot with them until he gets loaned out to Telstar in the league below. I'm going to let you explain how to say this to me in the comments, but I'm going to say Kuken Campion Divisi. And he went 19-35. Now that is the level below us, fair. Then he goes back out to Fortuna Sittard at our level and does 9-29. Not amazing, but for his first real appearances at the top division of any league, I mean, 1 every 3 is not a bad return, right? And it doesn't. Football Manager's not going to tell us that was all, starts or subs or whatever. Then he did 4-33 in Serie B. Not exactly great, but he's done 2 appearances now for us, 1 start, 1 sub, and gotten a goal. So, yay. So here's my thinking. We sold Kramer for 500, rising to 550. Was it less than his value? Yes. Were we in the middle of the transfer window where he could just leave on a free at the end of the window? Also, yes. So we took the value we could get out of him. And you go, well, I mean, he kind of looks a little bit better. He's taller. He's got better heading. He's got better jumping reach. He's more aggressive. So he looks better than Novakovic, aside from the fact that he's 32, even though his physicals right now are slightly better. I mean, if you look at the average, right, with the strength and all that kind of stuff, are slightly better than Novakovic's. However, to offer him a contract, he was going to want a wage rise. He was already over $2,000, if I remember correctly. And so I'm thinking he's going to want like $2.5, $3,000, something like that. And he's just not going to get any better. And there's not many opportunities thus far to cash in on a player and redeploy that transfer budget. And so we've gone and signed Novakovic for $350, rising to $400. That $400 is if he gets to like 50 appearances. So, it's not like we've made a huge profit, right? We've got $500 rising to $550, buying $350 rising to $400, but that's still a little bit of profit. And Novakovic has upside, in my opinion. He's 2 inches shorter. His jumping reach is 2 less. His heading is 3 less, but he's got the potential to improve. Now we're paying him $4,000 a week, but I kind of go, we were probably going to have to pay Kramer about $4,000. Maybe it was going to be less, but the way his agent was coming in, I was like, he's going to want to get paid. And if it doesn't really work out right now, we bought a guy for all in, if he makes 50 appearances, 400 grand, that's worth 925. So maybe we could sell him for at least his value in the future, and there's enough time where he's not going to be 38 at the end of the contract and you're not going to be able to sell him. So we kind of rolled the dice a little bit. He's a squad player, but the problem we ran into in this window, really challenging, by the way, is there's just not many players that we can afford that are going to like drastically improve the squad. I can understand now why there are so many loans, but let's go take a look. The only other major sale is John Gossens, whatever it is, 32 years old. Composure and concentration are a 7. He's a winger. He was on $2 grand a week. Now, we've only sold him for 40 grand. He was worth like 175, and then it kept dropping because we got into the middle of the window and people started coming in with free contracts. He actually took a free contract, like an end of contract with MVV. And then it was like, you want to sell him now? I was like, yes, I would, because we weren't really going to use him. I'll explain why. So we sold him. I tried 80 grand. They're like, nope, no, just get rid. We sold him for 40 grand, but he saves us 2 grand a week in wages, which over 26 weeks, because it was like late December or no, early January, call it 26 weeks, is another like 52 grand. So that's helped us out a little bit. And my thinking here is, instead of playing John, we can call up Evan Rotier. Or sure, it's Rotier. Evan Rotier. Who has upside, 18, 450 a week, young guy. You know, I'm not saying he's at the same level, but he's got the opportunity to improve. So it gives us an opportunity to start bringing up some of those youth prospects. And I think Evan is the first one, based on the sale, that we can bring up. We went in hard on Jamilu Collins, and he turned us down. We were the first team at his door with an end of contract. And then Frankfurt came in and a bunch of MLS teams came in, and we were going to offer, it was like 9.25. He eventually signed for 11 grand to go to Frankfurt, which I can't really blame him. It was probably a little bit of a punt, but he's really got the acceleration and pace, like good physicals, and can recover those physicals fast. He's got really good natural fitness. Crossing and dribbling, not outstanding, but for playing a high line, having a left back that can get back to help defend, I thought was going to be worth it, but it was really going to break the bank for us. So instead, it looks like we've really increased the wage budget. I was just trying to make sure if we needed to offer a contract to somebody on like 8 grand a week, that we have the capability to do that by dumping the transfer budget into the wage budget. As it sits right now, we can go up to 8,500. But when you really look at it, 8,500, we're currently paying 67, would be a massive contract to give one player. And that's kind of been the problem. So, if I pull all the wage budget out, to something more reasonable, we got about 1.7 left, which isn't outstanding, but we're kind of trying to just balance what's going on. We're guaranteed to have 1.71 next season as well. I don't think I said welcome to episode 5, but welcome, my friends, to episode 5. Thanks for being here. You continue to smash the likes. We are, at the time of recording, on 87 likes on episode 4. I'm guessing by the time this comes out, we'll be at 4 episodes in a row with 100. Can we make it 5? First time ever in the history of my channel. Thank you so much. One other bit of contract news. We have extended Ravel Morrison, and I was so torn. If we had clubs that had like expressed interest without me having offered him out, I probably would have sold him. But I was actually listening to the Kickoff, which, if you're not familiar, is a football chat show while games are on Twitch, and they put their clips on YouTube, and that's usually where I catch them. And they're talking about how the best managers can take those really hard to manage players and make the best out of them and like use them, right? So taking the likes of Ibrahimovic, right, who is a handful, but is also like, I don't know if he's currently, but he's been up at the top, if not the top goal scorer in Serie A right now, or something insane. Like, he's smacking him in for AC Milan, which is just ridiculous at his age. And I went, that sounds a lot like getting the best out of Ravel Morrison, especially for the value at the contract level. So we have offered him a new contract, bing, doubled his wages from 1 grand to 2, but he's extended until the end of 2024. He gets a 5% yearly wage rise, so it's not going to all of a sudden become 10 grand if he gets to 50 games or something crazy like that. We gave him a lot of like bonuses, like I like to pay for performance. You get goals or assists, I'll pay for those. You get team of the year because you were that good, I'll pay for those. So kind of like incentivizing a player to do a little bit better. But again, he's worth, right? let me slide you back over here. Now, part of this has to do with the increase in his contract, but now he's worth 1.5 million. So it even gives us the option that next January or next summer, if we want to sell him, we can still cash in on that value. And again, he's got 4 assists and 15 starts, which is not outstanding, but we don't exactly have the best finishers on the squad either, so it's kind of hard to tell. And he's on a 6.87, so he's playing just fine. But if I went to find a replacement, right? I showed some of the replacement options last time, like Samir Nasri. Oh, by the way, he wanted like 10 grand a week. So when you going back to the value, it's like, well, he's kind of in a sweet spot for us where he's above average in capabilities, and he's probably less than we'd pay for a replacement from a financial standpoint. So you kind of accept it. I mean, there's been times I just want to throw him out the window, but I guess that's part of being a football manager. Now, we've had lots of players in on trial. It would take 4 episodes to show you all of those, so I'm not going to do that. But we have offered an extension of the loan to Leif Davis, really to Leeds for Leif Davis, at 1.6K. Again, going back to the value, you compare the Nigerian guy I showed you that was going to be like 9.25 a week. If we can pay for someone that's not quite at that level, but pretty darn close, but only pay 1.6 grand, that works for us. That's a lot better. And really his value is 3.6. So if you can get a player with, call it a 2.5 million value, right? And only pay 1.6 grand a week for him, that's probably an improvement. Now he is considering it, so that makes me a tad bit nervous. Now, before we get into the Dutch Cup 3rd round against SC Heerenveen and showing you the recent run of results, I want to give a shout out to a new patron, Niels Jonkman, I think is what it is. Niels, thank you so much for your pledge. It means a lot, my friends. We are up to 50 patrons. It's the end of, you're going to see us on December. So really my goal for the end of December now is going to be to get to 60 patrons, which would be the most I've ever had on the channel. It's a way to financially support creators that you like. So it's not just for me. Like, go find a creator you like. They probably have a Patreon where you can throw them $1 or $2. So I really appreciate the support. Again, the likes have been amazing. I've had people on Twitter in the FM community like retweeting and sharing. It really does mean a lot as a creator for people to be like, no, like, when you stay up till 11 or 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning and you're doing your editing, we appreciate it. So thanks for all the kind words in the comments and the likes and the shares and all that kind of stuff. Just keep it up. Okay? Deal. You keep doing that, I'll keep creating content. That seems like a good deal. So we come in today, my friends, in 9th. We're 6 points from 4th, and we are 6 points from 14th. So we're kind of that bang average team. I'm still really gutted about the Venlo loss because that's their only win of the year, and they're on negative 35 goal differential as it sits right now. The results just haven't gone our way. So we drew with Heracles. Let me show you one thing that you probably knew, but I didn't. Robin? Yeah. 2.9 grand a week? Are you serious? He wasn't the only problem when they smashed us 4-1. He actually scored the 4th goal in the first half. What? And we, grabbed one back to ruin their clean sheet bonuses that their squad gets in the 78th minute. But they absolutely wrecked us. Then we go and we host FC Emmen, who we probably should have beaten if you look at the standings. They are down here in 16th place in that playoff spot on 13 points. But we get the draw, despite playing very, very well. Like 7s across the back line, a 7 for Shaquille, a 7 for Ravel. 7 point whatever. Just couldn't put it into the back of the net, which is quite unfortunate. Then we take on AZ at home, and this is one of those things where you big up the team in the press conference afterwards because we probably deserve to get crushed. They had a 2.46 XG to our 1. But we were able to claw back in the second half 2 goals to make it interesting. Like, we definitely had the momentum after that 86-minute goal, and they were kind of scrambling, and we just couldn't get it done. But I was quite pleased with the squad overall. They really showed some guts. That's a tall order to take on 4th in the league, who probably should be doing better, right? They came 2nd last season. I don't know. I think AZ's kind of a bigger club. At least that's my interpretation of it. But it was close, but not enough. But it was almost like, ooh, there's a little bit of a hope there. This is also where we got Novakovic involved. Just like literally the day he signed, he showed up. Oh, we also gave him the number 9. Yeah, you're a squad player. Here, have the number 9. Could you just go out there? Yeah, we're out of kits. Just grab whatever you got, go out there. And he did a 6.7, which was fine. And then he comes in and he starts against Vitesse. Now, to be fair, we'd already scored Ricardo Kishna, my friends. Oh, I love him in the 77th minute. But, you know, it was one of those games where you're going, 10th place. Can we get another goal to feel really good about it? And then Novakovic did that header. Or smashed in the flicked on header, I should say, and it was lovely. So we take on Heerenveen. They are currently 2nd in the league, so this is a tough ask. At least the board just wanted us to reach this round. I just had dreams of like, what if we could knock off one of these teams and make it all the way? Like, talk about putting a stamp on a save, right? And some big teams have gone down. Venlo, not a big team, went to penalties against Quick Boys. Sparta over Helmand, that's not a big upset, but Utrecht beating Feyenoord on penalties was kind of big. And then SC Cambuur beat Heracles 2-1. So, you know, there's a chance, but this is how we line up with our 4-3-3 DM. We got shorter passing, play out of defense, work the ball in the box, play for set pieces, be more disciplined, and a much lower tempo. So we're just passing it around, lulling them to sleep. And then we got 2 playmakers, a little tiki-taka-ish, not really, to the slowest tiki-taka you've ever seen. But then trying to work it into the box and get a goal. Morrison is out injured. He's got a set of pulled knee ligaments. Hopefully not a set, just the one. He's got 2 weeks. And then Nico is out with a pulled hammy for 2 weeks as well. So we line up with Jonas, who we've also offered a contract or a loan extension to. Diaz, who has slumped, but he's our best option. Ricardo Kishna, De Boer, Rigo comes in for Morrison, Shaq, Davis, and it's the usual suspects on the back line. Here we go. Would be absolutely mental if we could somehow pull this off. I'm just not very. Is that usually Lanes? Or Yanez, I should say. Wait a minute. Wait, did I know that? Yeah. On loan from Wolfsburg. Okay, I knew it was going to Wolfsburg, but I don't know if this has actually happened or if this is just in the game. No, must have actually been a loan to loan him out. Maybe they're working on a work permit or something like that, or is that only in the UK? Anyway, my friends, you know, we talked about earlier in the season we'd like to get to 35 points. We're currently on 23, so we're 13 away. So we're not exactly, you know, safe just yet, but we're making all right progress. We're 6-5-6. So, you know, we've almost won and drawn more than we've lost. Or double is what I was trying to say, and I skipped it. And Jonas Arweiler gets his 8th goal of the season. Snuck in there. We have been working on set pieces. I haven't actually had, I've been kind of surprised, not many set piece goals because I've actually spent some time trying to work on them, and I've had us like training on them, and it's part of our tactics now, and we've got tall lads that can head the ball up top, but that's a good time as any to get one. Can we hold on for the next 83 minutes with that extra time? Oh, a little cheeky pass there. Okay. Yeah, nice and slow. Draw them to us. But as you draw them to us, you must not give up possession. That was very close, Ricardo. Thank you. Okay. Nice and easy. Leaf Davis, the Leeds lad. The L squared. Doesn't work. But flicked on. Oh, that's fine. The 4 of our players back there are just going to watch the ball fall down in the box that they were making as they were marching back as a retreat and not try and like pressure the one player. That's fantastic work by us, my friends. But we got the lead. 3 shots and 2 on target. 1 and 1 for them. We got the higher XG. No chances created thus far. They've got the possession despite the slowing it down and passing it around and trying to control. Let's give a little encouragement. I'm sure they're like, we're beating 2nd place. What is happening? This feels like the beginning of the season when we smashed someone 6-1. What? Not feeling very confident that we'd smash anybody 6-1 these days, but if we get a 2nd goal, we're on like a goal scoring streak of more than 1, which would be amazing. I'm just going to say I'm happy. I'm not expecting us to win this game. So like, you can't come out and be like, I'm really disappointed that we don't have more goals. It's like, I'm pretty thrilled actually that we're playing 2nd place so well, especially away from home. Ricardo. Okay. Davis gets a little close to him. We got 3 guys defending 2. Somebody's open, lads. There we go. DeBoer shows for it. Nice work. Okay, Rigo. Oh, I forgot. That was the referee. My brain went, that's an opposition player. Nope, it's just the ref. Diaz, can he play it? He does. Oh, it plays into the space. 9th goal of the season. Jonas Arweiler. Please accept the loan extension. Oh, that's right. I didn't realize it was the beginning, like so quick to the beginning of the second half. You know, because sometimes it ticks on. It's like 50-something, 60-something minutes, something like that. Let's not give it up, boys. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. Stick with. Come on. Hit the like button if you are enjoying us being ahead 2-0. Oh, dear. Oh, look at the yellows. Oh, dear. Hold on. Panic in the ranks. Panic in the ranks. Okay, set piece. Oh, way! Oh, we're rescued by the post bar area. I couldn't really tell which one it was. Are we fully rescued? Are we going to guard? Yeah, I was going to say close down the man in the box. Oh, he keeps it in. What a ledge. Van Heck gets it back. Ricardo's just watching. He's like, you guys want to close down this guy? I'm just going to watch over here. I'm just watching you run around. Oh, the Ricardo kiss. That story, man. Oh, if you haven't gone back to episode 3 or whatever it was, the sad story of Ricardo Kishna, and watched his reaction after that game, you are missing out, my friends. Rigo is playing well, but tends to not last very long. Natural fitness is a 5. There's your reason. Okay, who do we want to bring in? Okay, he's complacent, so you've just deselected yourself by being complacent in a, what to us, I think, is a massive cup game. Personally. Okay, we're going to take Kishnov, because right now we don't really need that extra goal. And we're going to bring on Evan Rottier. I think this might is it his debut? Can he do something? Yes. Senior team debut. 450 week, breakthrough prospect, has a year left on his contract. We did some contract. Like, the club has a ton of trigger 1-year extension clauses built in, which must be part of the strategy. So I kind of like it, to be honest with you. It makes it kind of easy. So we'll bring him in here, because I think we can only make 3 subs. I've gotten used to making 5 subs, so we'll do a time-wasting sub here at the end, my friends. 3 minutes added on. We're going to take our aging ball-playing defender off and bring on Dario Del Fabro. Come on down. And it's a little late, probably. A little praise? Yay! Smiley faces and my friends! I am stunned! Look at the XG! We have nicked it. The XG is almost identical, and they came on in the second half with more shots, but we've been able... Koopmans finally has a good game. Finally? Is that fair? Let's find out. Yeah, he's been doing okay. There's just been a couple times where it's like, oh, why'd you get a 6.3, mate? I am stunned. I think Shaq is going to miss the next game unless it wipes out the yellow card accumulation, because I think he was 1 away. Outstretched arms. Yes. Keeper doesn't care. He's like, I saw you looking at my stats. And sorry about, there was a gray dot up here. That was my green screen not being fully in frame. So if you're like, what was that thing? That's what happened. It wasn't your screen, but it's probably too late for me to be mentioning that, because that was like at the beginning of the game. Deal with it. No press conference? That's interesting. We're bringing this guy in on trial. He's listed for 150 grand on 4.7 grand a week. And I kind of go, would he be the next ball playing defender, like for Gianni? As Gianni gets too old, like we got to see what he looks like. I'm a little worried about the pace of acceleration. No more than a 10 on the acceleration, but he might have decent pace. But we'd be paying through the teeth for it, most likely. So, interesting times. Okay, Frederick has shown up. Looks to be pretty... 6'6", jumping reach of at least 18. Looks to be a treat. And I misspoke. We would not do a transfer fee of 120 grand. His contract is up, so we would just do we would just sign him. I'm thinking we may do it. We're gonna let him hang out for a couple days and see if we get any more clarification on his capabilities. But looks to be pretty good. I said there was the press conference. It was right here. I said in the press conference that I wanted to get VVV Venlo, and they're like, "Oh, why?" I'm like, "Oh, it's the team that we, blah blah blah." It's like because they've got a negative 35 goal differential, and I want revenge. I probably should have said SC Canberra, but they're second. They might actually be better in better form, right, than Venlo. So let's see who we get here. Sure, we'll do it one at a time. Do something a little bit different. Okay, here we go. We're hosting. That's got to be right. It's not a neutral site, right? Utrecht, currently 13th. Could have been worse. Could have been Ajax. Sparta, I think, is probably... Nope. Yeah, Utrecht's okay. Again, it could have been worse. Could have been Ajax. So we've got a chance, my friends, to actually get to the next round, which sounds ridiculous. On the board, they're just pleased. Do they not care? Lads, quarterfinals, rules. What do we get? We get quarters. We get 547 grand if we win the game. Now, I wish they'd give you a little bit more for, if you're the loser or something like that. But I think we're in with a chance. I think I may have told you we were going to do a doubleheader today, but I think with all the transfer business, which I completely forgot would be part of this episode, we're not going to do that. We've won 2 on the bounce, only one of those in league play, so take that for what it is. But the next time you see it, it'll be Utrecht. And do we do Groningen? We'll see where the table is, because it might make more sense to do Heracles, but, Iron Robin, right? You take him on, right? That might be interesting, but this game is massively important. We might actually do an extended highlights. I'm not sure. I will not have recorded that by the time you see this, so leave your comments as to what you want to see next time. Would you want to see an extended highlights? I have really enjoyed the FM21 engine. It has been really interesting to watch. Like it's a definite improvement. I think everybody knows that at this point. But again, my friends, thank you for support. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for your views. Thanks for sharing on Twitter. If you're #feelingstorky, share it on Twitter and get some other people to watch it. I'm really excited about this save and where we're going to go. We're building up with our scouting as to get to the summer window and hopefully make some, I won't say drastic changes, because again, you got to work within the wage budget that we've got. Maybe we'll get like some massive increase in money. That would be fantastic. I just don't think that's going to happen. But if you've enjoyed it, hit the like button. Thanks to these folks that are going to be popping up here. Again, I will update the screen here if you've become a patron recently in the next couple of episodes, but once everything processes at the end or the beginning of December. So this is coming out on December 1st, and then it'll take a couple days. So thanks for your support. Means a ton. We'll see you next time. Get in!